slap, slap.
Are we ready?
Slap. Sometimes I just want someone to slap me before I start shooting.
I've never slapped anyone across the face. Have you?
No.
Have you ever been slapped?
Oh, yeah. Many times. Many a time. It's kind of like the old-fashioned way to keep a chick in line. All right, today we're talking about parades. Lots of parades this weekend. So many parades. I love a good parade. I love marching bands, but these parades were not great. They were parades of morons, not the servicemen marching who serve for our country.
Let's just get that qualifier in there.
Clear that up right away before somebody goes, how dare
you?
How dare you? First the flag is backwards and now this blasphemy. I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your Dumpster Fire. Welcome to Dumpster Fire, where we make burgers out of your sacred cows. We premiere new episodes every Tuesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Central. Please join us in the chat before we get going. Tickets are available for my stand-up comedy show, Ask Me Anything. Next show is Tuesday, June 24th at 7 p.m. at the Creek in the Cave in Austin. If you're in town or you live here, please come through. There's a link in the description where you can buy tickets. I made it nice and early for my elderly geriatric audience. I've also partnered with people in their 40s. I've also partnered with Two Way for my new live online show called Real America. Join us on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can register to be a member of the virtual audience. There's a link in the description below. The best way to keep track of everything that we do, go to Phetasy.com and sign up for our free newsletter, and then you can see all the content we're turning out. And we are going to bring the weekly newsletter back, where all of our content is in a nice, easy to digest package for you. It can be the only thing you subscribe to as well if you don't want all of the emails from us. It's not obvious on Substack that you can do that, but if you are getting too many emails from us and they're driving you crazy, there are ways to uncheck all of the things you don't want. Important stories we're ignoring. After a 2-day manhunt, police arrested Vance Bolter for assassinating Democratic Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark, and wounding Democratic State Senator John Hoffman and his wife, Yvette, which can only be considered a tragedy for our nation and their children. This is just beyond sad and tragic, and it's still unfolding. So we're ignoring it, other than to say RIP to the Hortmans, and we're praying for the Hoffmans and also this country, because the political violence is out of control. We're also ignoring the unfolding war in Iran and Israel because, unlike a lot of other comedians, we're not foreign policy experts, and we know our lane. We're morons, and we prefer to make fun of other morons, specifically parades of them, which there were a lot this past weekend. There were the No Kings protests over the weekend, which were allegedly bigger than the Women's March, which makes sense to me because women can't even show up for the WNBA. Ladies, you're always bitching about this pay gap. Well, maybe support your ladies in basketball.
But is having this minor skill worth being so unattractive? That's for the fan to decide. Yay!
6 million people, 4 to 6 million people, that's allegedly how many people came out and protested. Even Canadians protested, proving, in fact, they are already our 51st state.
We want more money.
Like, why the fuck are Canadians protesting? This makes no sense to me. I don't even think about Canada, and they're always thinking about us.
They're not even a real country anyway.
Maybe you should be protesting your own leadership, which has completely destroyed your entire country. We do have a lot of Canadian fans, and you are welcome in Texas anytime. As many people noted already online, we already have a No Kings Day. It's July 4th!
Point taken.
Literally, our No Kings Day, the day we celebrate freedom from kings. It's so dumb that people were out there protesting no kings, because other than a couple of weirdos on the right, Curtis Yarvin, there isn't some pro-king movement in the United States. Like, at least the pro-choice movement as the pro-life, they have their opposition. I don't know what the opposition to the no king movement is. I don't know anyone in America who's like, we need a monarchy other than my husband.
Curtis Yarvin. So there are two.
So there are two people. So this was just millions of liberals calling Trump a king on his birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being so dumb.
Which I'm sure he loved. It's still giving him attention. It wasn't like no fascism or no dictator. It was no king, which honestly sounds kind of awesome. King is so different than any of the other things you could have called him. I think it's a little amusing that the people saying no kings literally kicked Biden off the ticket and replaced him with Kamala. They basically anointed her. The only thing missing was the Pope putting a crown on her head. Because the Pope used to put the crowns on people's heads. This is the episode where I explain all of my jokes.
We explain every single joke.
Which means they're not good jokes, by the way.
If you have to explain a joke, there is no joke!
The commentary online was as dumb as you would expect it to be. Everyone was like, something is shifting. I'm in San Francisco and the people are out en masse. Oh, really? You're in blue San Francisco and the people are protesting? I can't believe it.
Oh, shiver my timbers. Shut up, man.
Someone who actually calls himself Alan Analysis, an analyst, tweeted, Dallas, deep red, oil-soaked and MAGA-aligned, is now flooded with anti-Trump protesters. A city once thought untouchable has joined the rebellion. The tide is turning. And it already has a community notes that states Kamala Harris won Dallas County in the last presidential election. Maybe don't quit your day job of whatever it is, Alan Analysis. And of course, there are the greatest hits from the first Trump presidency. Inject them directly into my veins. The dusty old handmaids costumes were taken down from the shelves by the same women who use the terms uterus haver or birthing person to describe pregnant women. In just a state of incoherence only white women can achieve. These people are out of their minds. It was mostly at the protests, as many people noted, white boomers who don't have grandkids, and they are big mad. Trump, on the other side of our ridiculous American political spectrum, held a $45 million military parade to celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States military, which happened to fall on his actual birthday, in case you were wondering if he is the chosen one.
I am the chosen one.
It was pretty weird that this was going on during an escalating war between Israel and Iran. America was like, we're just over here having a parade. I don't see what the big deal is. And I was a little torn because some people were pointing out that this was happening and shouldn't these people be paying attention to the war? Like, aren't these our officials who should be? And they probably should, but also it kind of sends a message that we're not really involved yet. Should I be concerned about this or not? Is it better that our military is just chilling at a parade, or should they be getting ready for war? Why don't you let us know in the comments? The online state of things is so bananas. Before the parade, leftists online complained that the parade would be authoritarian. They were so freaked out. They're like, his dictator parade. And we called it that too in slight jest. Afterwards, leftists were complaining that the parade sucked because it wasn't North Korean and authoritarian enough. They didn't goose step and give Trump the side face salute. Kyle Kulinski said on X, he's kind of a left-wing Bernie bro-ish dude. I really thought Trump's police state parade would look fascist and scary. Instead, it's just humiliating. Are the soldiers marching like this as a low-key f*** you to Trump? Compare it to any other military parade, and you'll see what I mean. Like, here's the problem with our modern discourse. So much of it is people who want destruction in order to prove themselves right. They want us to go to war with Iran. They want the West to fall. They're rooting for fascists, they would rather see America burn under Trump just so they can be like, I told you so. What I don't think we talk about enough is the primal power of the desire to say, I told you so, and its destructive, corrosive force in our politics and how it's going to be the death of the West. Because all of these people, left and right, I see it now, are just rooting for the worst case scenario so that they can go, I told you so, while the fucking nukes go off behind them.
But first, a deep sip from a very tall glass of I told you so.
I told you World War III was coming. We don't want this to happen, guys. And stop pretending that you don't want it to happen. You are all wish casting this stuff so that you can go, that's what I said. I told you I was going to be right about that. Why don't you start being a little bit more like Tony Robbins and visualizing positive outcomes? First of all, these leftists who are out of their minds complained that he was a dictator and then after the parade blamed him for not being a dictator. Everyone was commenting on the army's marching too. It was a little bit like a local homecoming parade. There wasn't like this evil march of goose-stepping soldiers. And also, by the way, why is the evil march always the goose step? Can someone in the comments explain that to me? I'm way more intimidated by the Green Berets marching this weekend than any of these goose-stepping Rockettes. Oh, you can kick your legs high? Oh no. In unison, this is like the freaking synchronized swimming of the army.
Like the Green Berets were just like strolling along.
It did feel a lot like in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he's like, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? That feels like the difference in energy here. And everyone on the left is basically saying, like, you're doing it wrong. Let me show you how this fascism is actually done. I'm just grateful to the people who are in these parades who serve because someone's got to do it. Even if our flag is backwards, we still love America. Mm-hmm. And we love America for letting us put our flag backwards. Because in other countries, I would be locked away for even doing that. I loved what Art Tavana said. The No Kings protest was as embarrassing as Trump's lame military parade. All we learned from both sides is that the left needs better messaging and sloganeering, and the right needs better production quality and event planning. Proof that not all fascists are gay. Between the domestic unrest and the foreign wars, it was a weekend of me feeling like I should be blasting Fortunate Son while I scrolled the timeline. In the background of all of this unrest going on, your Democratic kings and queens and all of your leaders, Alex Soros and Huma Abedin, got married in a wedding that was basically a royal wedding between Democrats who love dark money. Huma Abedin went from wiener to this fucking guy, George Soros Jr. He doesn't exactly look like he's getting turned on by women. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's 10 years younger than her. The No Kings protesters are on the streets screaming about royalty, while their leaders and party heads are at an Eyes Wide Shut party in the Hamptons. The people running the Democrat Party don't care, you fucking dorks. They do not care. Same for the Republicans. None of our leaders really give a shit about us little normies, and the sooner we understand this, the better. Although I do think, no, I don't think actually anyone cares about us. Before our next segment, don't forget to like, subscribe, touch my bells and buttons, and tell your friends about us. Please help us reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And you guys have spoken. When we hit 100,000, I will do my best Mexican weather report. And you have to stick around through the ad to see the weather report, guys. Sorry, them's the rules. Here at Dumpster Fire, the majority of our audience is men. All you regular Dumpster Fire watchers know we're genuinely concerned with the welfare of your balls. If you're looking for the perfect pair of jeans to pull on over your perfect ball-supporting underwear, look no further than the Perfect Jean. The Perfect Jean rescues your nuts from stiff cardboard denim and cradles them in comfort. We like to cradle nuts here at Dumpster Fire.
It's our favorite thing.
If your product doesn't cradle nuts, we are not having anything to do with it. These jeans fit like they were custom made and stretch like you wouldn't believe. The fabric is incredibly soft. My husband got a pair and loves them. He said they're the softest, most comfortable pair of jeans that he's ever had. He feels like if he got into a fight, he'd be uninhibited. And they look great too. I think he really looks fantastic in them, which is all that matters. It's really that we just look hot. It's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use the code Bridget15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code Bridget15. Fuck your khakis and get the perfect jean. There's a link in the description below. Now let's check the weather with Jessica DeLuna.
De precipitación hacia sectores del noroeste, norte, a lo largo de la Sierra Madre Occidental, aquí en la parte central, suroriente y sureste del país. El resto sin precipitaciones significativas. Pero vámonos a la información a detalle de estas próximas 3 jornadas aquí en la capital de México, donde esperamos temperaturas mínimas en los 13, 14 grados y máximas de 23 a 25.
Thank you, Jessica. And then, of course, there's a failed parade to Gaza, which... if you didn't see it, it wouldn't surprise me. It's not like it made the news, but it did make the rounds on Twitter. Leftist activists on the global march to Gaza were surprised by the fact that Egyptians were hostile to them. Dozens of the protesters were detained and deported. And there was one particularly white woman that went viral who was just like, couldn't believe that her freedoms that she has in the West were not being applied to her in Egypt.
I'm on the global march to Gaza in Egypt. We were stopped at a checkpoint. They took our passports. They've detained us. I'm going to show you. They put us in a barrier like animals. Look how they've locked us in. They've locked us all in. These are all activists. These are all people. We are activists from multiple countries, and they've brought the army, they've brought armed cars. They are going to take us back to the airport to deport us. We have done nothing wrong.
To all Canadian activists that are thinking about going there, you have no idea what you're getting into.
They have beaten people. I have seen one woman that was beaten in her face in front of me. They didn't leave time to grab the luggage or anything. It was a very shocking incident.
Just the audacity, the absolute hubris of a Western person traveling in any other part of the world. It's just always shocking when you encounter it in the wild.
Yeah.
Like on X described it as Western savior syndrome. The Egyptians were pissed. They were beating them with sticks and literally like yanking their limbs. And the protesters are shocked at how they're being treated in Egypt. How do they think they'd be treated in Gaza, by the way? Egypt won't take a single fucking refugee from Palestine. A fact that people in the West seem to forget because the media conveniently leaves it out all the time when they're talking about Israel, Palestine. They just never mention the fact that Egypt shares a border with Palestine. And they're a Muslim country, by the way. And then there's this Irish dude, I think, or he's from the UK.
This is a genocide of a Muslim people by Zionists.
They can't hear you. They can't hear you. They're not hearing you. They can't hear you.
Please.
Look at the protesters. Not all heroes wear sleeves, guys. You should be wearing sleeves in Egypt, by the way. I mean, I've never been to a place, Egypt, where I was so head down, eyes averted, keep myself covered up, follow all the rules as I was in Egypt.
Yeah.
It is insane to go there and think that you can just behave like a normal Western person, male or female, especially female. They don't like mouthy broads in Egypt, okay? It's so funny to think of all of this as a mating dance. All that birds have to do is whistle. But after years of evolution in the West, in particular, humans have to travel to North Africa on humanitarian work in order to get pussy. That's the only reason this guy is down there yelling. The worst part is that it doesn't even work. It's all so performative. The protesters, whether it's for immigrants or for Gaza, always find a way to make it about themselves. They're on their little phones and they're like, I can't believe it. We're in these enclosed spaces. The leader of the Republicans is a narcissist, but the left as an entire entire party is an ideology of narcissism. While they didn't rescue one person from being deported, they did manage to rescue a wealthy senator who was tackled for 5 seconds last week.
I have questions for the secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your...
That was a news story that we aren't even going to bother covering because it's already out of the news, but they paid more attention to this senator who was tackled, the media and the protesters, than they do the even people that they are allegedly fighting for. The ideology of narcissism is the reason they're in such disarray. You can't please a party of narcissists. It's the reason they're all so miserable. These Dems would be more at home in the Republican Party, which is premised on self-interest. They're not trying to hide it behind "in this house we believe" or humanitarian nonsense. Ooh, Phetasy news! If you love Dumpster Fire, the best thing you can do is become a paid supporter of Phetasy.com. You get the unedited version of this Dumpster Fire, and we leave a lot of inappropriate things on the cutting room floor. You also get access to everything else we're doing, and it's a lot. Join us every Tuesday, Friday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube for a new Dumpster Fire. We do a live chat, and it's always hilarious. Thank you to everyone who shows up for that. Also, guys, we appreciate the tips, but I don't want to diminish it. Truly, though, I would rather you just come join us for a month at Phetasy.com, or join us if you're going to tip us, because some places take like an insane cut and other places don't, like Phetasy.com. Thank you to everyone who helps make Dumpster Fire possible. Thank you, Ben and Kevin. Thank you to The Perfect Gene for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you to our audience, subscribers, supporters. We love you. And thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Bridget.
And now to cleanse your palate, the internet is glorious.
Let's wave the flag of the country we don't want to live in the country we do want to live in. Viva Mexico! You're going back to Mexico.
Please don't send me back there.
Wait a minute, shouldn't we be waving the American flag if we want them to let us stay?
Down with America! Viva Mexico!
Okay, sir, we'll book your one-way flight to Mexico right now.
Wait, I was just kidding. I love McDonald's. I have Taco Bell receipts. God bless the USA.
That was hilarious last week, where people were like, I can't listen to this. And you were like, that's the point in the chat.
It took me a while when I was watching it. I was like, get to the point, guy, get to the point. And then I realized that was the point.
So good. Remember, life is absurd. Don't take yourself so damn seriously. Take the work seriously. Don't take yourself seriously. This has been your Dumpster Fire. I'm Bridget Phetasy. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Good old Phetasy. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich, because I want to go to a wedding in the Hamptons. Last week, a woman named Naomi Epps Best went viral because she was fired from her therapy internship for writing a Wall Street Journal opinion piece titled Santa Clara University's Crazy Ideas of Human Sexuality. In the video she recorded after she was fired, she talks about needing a set of therapists with diverse worldviews and tolerance for diverse worldviews, something which is slowly being smothered today. Which brings me to our next episode of Real America. Are you in therapy? Have you ever tried therapy? Did it help you? Did it hurt you? Make an impact. Do nothing. Did you ever feel judged by your therapist? On this week's Real America, we're talking about therapy, the role it plays in our lives, how it's become politicized, and many therapists have become activists. We also are going to talk about books like Bad Therapy by Abigail Schreier versus people who are very pro-therapy. It's taken on a life of its own in our culture. Join me, Bridget Phetasy, on my show Real America, Wednesday, June 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live discussing this. You can register to join the conversation at twoway.tv/BridgetZoom, or you can simply watch the episode at Real America Phetasy on YouTube. See you there!
And the unicorns dance while the world burns, world burns.